It's down. It's down. Failed to detect your speaker.
There's something going on with your speakers.
A lot of troublemakers on this call this morning. Look, I got the stuff that Tom sent over. Is there anything more detailed than this information, or what is the purpose of our gathering today?
Today, we're going to try and set a schedule for future meetings, and we're electing the chair and vice chair, and we're going to have Tom give us a short report. He's got some other info.
Yep. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right, let's go fast.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna jump right into a quick roll call. Von Hartung.
Here.
Ed Lawson
Here.
and Devin Reese.
I am here.
All right, have a quorum.
Excellent. Our next item is the election of officers. The first would be 2A, the election of the chair.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Ed Lawson as the chair.
Second,
Okay. I guess that motion carries then, huh?
Well, we have a motion and a second. We need to ask for all in favor. You
All
could
in
still be
favor.
opposed. Aye.
aye.
All right.
Mr.
Unanimous.
Chairman,
Who's the vice chair?
I'd like to make a motion for Devin Reese.
Ugh.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All right, Devin.
All those in
Lucky
favor
me.
signify by saying
Aye.
Excellent. All right. On to item 3, I guess that would be the approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Great. Moving on to item 4, public comment. Damian?
We have not received any public comment that I'm aware of. So,
Okay, we're clear on that front.
Yep.
Which moves us into item 5, business of the day. And the first one, 5A, is possible adoption of a schedule for these RPGB legislative subcommittee meetings. We didn't propose any dates, but I'd like to propose right now that we meet monthly. And this time, the 4th Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m. is the first time I thought we could try with, but it depends on all your schedules.
That works for me.
It doesn't work for me. I think that's a commission day
Okay.
consistently. But you don't need me, do you?
Yes.
Oh,
If you guys would desire, I can throw out a few dates and times, circulate to the team, and we can decide offline.
Yeah, just a doodle calendar, however you can do it.
You got it, Doodle.
Will you just check with Cindy for me, please?
I sure will.
it
Okay,
must
well,
be cool to have people.
Well, I'm notorious for double booking myself.
And yet you still show up to everything.
I sometimes there's two of me.
Twice. I was gonna say twice.
we want that too.
so okay, I will definitely circulate a Doodle poll, and we'll get that settled with the intention to meet at least monthly and potentially escalate if something were to come up that we needed to address more frequently. But hopefully, we can get away with just meeting once a month to check in.
Yeah, my commitment,
You know, Jeremy, can I make a suggestion is that we schedule for every other week? And if we don't need the meeting, just circulate the email prior to say we're not gonna have a meeting.
Sure thing. Every other week, you got it.
You know, things can move pretty quick down there.
Okay, so just getting it on the schedule.
I think the problem with that for me, Ed, though, is that if we put it on the schedule every other week, it blocks my calendar. And then it means other people can't get in there. I would prefer that we have one meeting that's set and then at, Jeremy and Tom's need, get something else on. Or just call us and tell us, because don't we have to notice this meeting?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so you're going to be noticing every week. I just think it may be a lot, but it's fine either way. I'm just suggesting it may be cumbersome for us all.
Whatever you prefer.
how about I work with Jeremy and we just figure out the proper cadence for the meetings? It's going to be slower at the front end, heavier on the back end. So the way that the legislative calendar is working, the 120-day calendar, yeah, we don't really get into the meat of things until the middle of March anyway, although there will be bills and things that all want the committee's insight on so that we can move forward with different things. But I think if we just set
I
it
think
for
so.
every month right now, but I'm gonna look at the calendar, look at what's coming up and say, hey, Jeremy, I need a meeting in a week. We need to make some decisions on this stuff in a week and make that happen,
We'll make it happen
Yeah.
if that's the case.
recognizing that the open meeting law is in play.
Okay, I think I understand the marching orders. Feel good? Are we good with that item then? Thank you very much. I guess we should move on to item 5B then, discussion of possible direction to staff or retained governmental relations firm, Tom Clark Solutions, on proposed legislations. Basically, we're looking to get a report here from Tom on what we know so far.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make this really quick. You did get the bill tracking document that we will be keeping a very close eye on. This is through the PLT at the Legislative Council Bureau. So this is kind of the manual one that we use. Of the issues that are on here, you'll see most of them deal with transportation. We will be tracking those issues only because last legislative session, it was an RTC bill that actually enveloped and brought the Regional Planning Governing Board into. So we'll keep an eye on those. There was a question during the last meeting regarding Skip Daly's BDR. Let's see, which one is it? here on there?
536.
Yeah, so I gave him a call and I actually talked to him about it more last night. When he was an assemblyman back in 2019, he passed Assembly Bill 240, which created a committee that was to look at these regional projects and have some level of input so that the city of Spark City, Reno, Washoe County could intervene if necessary. He wants to bolster that by putting elected officials on there that are appointed by leadership within the Senate and the Assembly. So that's really what he's going after. If you had the pleasure of watching the governor's State of the State address last night, there was one little piece in there, and I know Ed was there, and Devin was there, and Vaughn was there. So you guys were all there. Speaking of the choir here. But the one part that he was talking about economic development is that after he talked about the $3.2 billion Tesla project that I think you guys are all going to run out and do the announcement on today, he used the line, we have to recognize these projects without looking at political boundaries. And I think that that kind of opens up the door for this board to be able to say, look, these are great projects that are happening in other counties, but we really need to have a seat at the table as these projects are being decided, so that if the governor's promise that he made last night comes true, and that you may get a tax abatement, property tax, sales tax abatement at the front end, but the incremental tax that's collected based on the long-term viability of the project pays off, those tax resources go to the county that's most affected. We all know that when something happens in Story County is not the one currently that's affected. It's Washoe County. It's this region that bears the brunt of the transportation, the education, the public safety side of things. So I think that there will be opportunities throughout this legislative process to insert this board into legislation and say, we really do need to have a seat at the table when these projects are being permitted. Assemblywoman Howdiggy had a bill last legislative session that didn't survive that would have given that opportunity, but it was more focused on the innovation legislation that Governor Sisolak was pushing for blockchains at the time. So I throw that out there just to say that what Skip is going at, I think, is from a regional perspective, something that we really want to pay attention to. And that is, as these projects are supported and developed by the Governor's Office of Economic Development, you guys should seriously have a seat at the table to make sure that your respective communities aren't negatively impacted by those projects.
Hey, Tom, not to drag this out, but I think you should probably get a little background, and it wouldn't be from me, from Story County, as to the deals that were cut in the Tri-Center and how they basically can move things rapidly. So I think it would just be good for you to understand that process, because this will probably get entangled in many lawsuits if it does move its way through the legislature. Thanks.
I agree.
And also there's going to be another announcement today that along these lines. So let's see what happens today.
It's going to be a moving target all the way across the board. And I really wish we had just started the legislative process today. Money committees start tomorrow. They'll start tearing apart the governor's budget. His capital improvement project budget is one of the first ones that's up, so I want to keep an eye on that. But we will be participating in and watching the preliminary budget hearings that are going to be happening over the next 10 days or so before the legislative session starts. And of course, when the session starts on the 6th, we'll be full-time right there next to Jessica in Carson City. At least that's where we're going to hang our hat before we head down to the building. So with that, Jeremy, I pretty much covered all the bases, recognizing the time frame that we're under, but I also want to just add, you guys have my cell phone number. If you don't, Jeremy knows where to find me.
Yep.
Call me if you see or want information on something. I'm always available.
Thank you very much, Tom. Was there any other questions for Tom today? Well, I think that solves, oh, go ahead, sorry.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, good deal. Well, I think that pretty much solves item 5B. We'll just keep working with Tom and keep you apprised of what's going on. In terms of reports, I guess we could ask if there are any members or directors report. I don't have anything today.
No.
Excellent. How about item 6B, Jessica?
Nothing to report today. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, that would move us on to item 7, which would be a request for future agenda items. Anyone have any thoughts on that front?
I think we're good.
Awesome. Moving to item 8, Damien, have we received any public comment in the interim?
Between now and then, we have not.
Okay.
I will just final note. I have a document that I printed out this morning that I'll send with Jeremy so that he can share with you guys as well. And that basically is just a bullet by bullet point of the governor's budget recommendations. So you can read through the lines of what he said verbally. And it's all just real easy to understand from his office. So I'll make sure that that gets distributed appropriately.
That sounds great. Thank you, Tom. We have no written correspondence, and so that leads us to item number 10, adjournment, if that's the will of the committee.
That would be the will.
Second.
Fantastic.
All right.
Recording.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you.
Okay, Kirk out.
Thanks, guys.